Join us as we sew this fun traveling makeup bag. Download the pattern free from thesewpro.com/blog. Cut the border, the casing, around the bag, 3.5 inches by 60 inches, one long rectangle. Lay the pattern over the fabric and cut out the circle. Lay the same pattern over the lining and cut that out. The lining should be a water-resistant fabric since you will be placing your makeup on that while you apply your makeup. You have the border and the 2 circles. Take the border or the casing, bring it to the ironing board, and press it, wrong sides together. Press it in half. Then go to one short edge. Press the edge inside and press it again. Double fold that so that you have a clean finish. And again, fold your casing in half and press. Bring it to the sewing machine. Sew that short edge on the border so that it clean finishes that edge. Next, place the border onto the lining. Bring the raw edges together. Although your border is straight and the lining is a circle, you'll just keep bringing the edges together as you sew it. Sew it with a very narrow seam allowance, less than 1/4 inch. Stop a little bit before you reach the beginning of the border. Next, leave a little extra border so that you have what to fold in for the next short edge and cut off the excess border. Check to see where the end should be. Place a pin there to mark it, and then double fold the next short edge, bringing it to the correct measurement. Hand press it or finger press it in place, and then sew it. Bring the border back into place and sew the remainder of the border to the lining. The 2 edges should be right up against each other with no space in between them. You have an opening at those 2 short edges to place your drawstring inside. Next, take your fabric layer and put it on top. The border ends up getting sandwiched between the lining and the fabric. Everything is good sides together, so the wrong side of the fabric is facing on top, the wrong side of the lining is on bottom, and the border, it's sandwiched in between. Now you will sew it to the fabric as well. When you sew it to the fabric, you should be sewing a 1/4 inch seam allowance, a little more than you sewed before. When you sewed it to the lining, you sewed less than 1/4. When sewing to the fabric, leave a small opening to be able to turn everything the right way through that opening. The larger the opening, the easier time you'll have to turn it the correct way. But remember, the larger the opening, the more of an opening you'll need to close up afterwards. Pull everything through that opening, the fabric, the lining, the border, the casing, it will all come through. Once you have it all out, shake it and lay it flat. You now have a small opening that you need to sew closed. Those stitches will show on the good side, but that's okay. They'll blend right in. Bring the sewing machine very close to that open edge, close to the edge, and sew it right on the fold. Now it's time to put the drawstring inside for the casing. We're using a rope here. Place a safety pin on that rope and pull it through, using the safety pin to help you get it through. And here we have our safety pin coming out at the other end. Smooth everything out so that you know that you're using enough rope. You want it to be able to lay flat when you are applying your makeup. So you need enough rope that it can lay flat without anything being curled up too much. We will use Dritz brand cord stops. These cord stops are often seen on the hoods of coats where you have a string being pulled out so you can tighten that hood. One cord stop is all you need here. We need both sides of that drawstring to be pulled through the cord stop. To help us get them through, we wrap a piece of scotch tape around both of them together. This gets the end to be pointed and not to fray. Next, squeeze that cord stop closed, or you're really squeezing the hole open, and pull the drawstrings through. Tie a knot with the extra drawstring past the cord stop. You want those two drawstrings to be held together. Pull that knot very tightly closed, and then cut off the extra drawstring. Burn the edges of the drawstring to prevent it from fraying. Keep sticking it for just a second in the fire, and then blow out the fire. Again a second, and then blow out the fire. That will prevent it from fraying. There you got it, your completed bag. When you travel, pull the drawstring. All your makeup will be held tightly inside there. You reached your destination? Hooray, welcome. Now spread it all out. Leave your makeup right there while you apply it, and you can see everything you have. Enjoy!